All right, let's give some yummy scraps to the chicks and let's see how they do. Here, chick, 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 chick. Here, chick, 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 chick. Some of y'all are getting it. Here, chick, 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 chick. We always have a call for different animals. We always say that call when we feed them so that they learn when they hear that. Once they get a little bit older, we can just come out and say, here, chick, 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 when they'll feed, and they'll come to us. So for the goats, when we had goats before, we had a different call than we do for chickens, and so on. So today, actually for several days, we haven't done much homestead gardening wise, but I have done stuff, but just more trying to get YouTube videos up to date and editing. And I've been having a problem with the editing program that I use, not wanting to export certain videos, and it's caused a lot of headache. And with our slow internet, it takes a really long time to work on uploading, to work on re-downloading the program, to work on once I've even got it, getting it up to YouTube, and it's been quite a pain. And then to actually export the program or export the video, it takes a long time, and so it kept failing. I'd get like to the last just tiny bit, and then it'd fail. And redoing everything, working with Adobe, they would tell me do this, do that, do this, do that, and I do it. Nothing was working. And one video, I just went ahead and like deleted part of it that was giving it a problem. And today, yesterday or the day before, I started working on another video, and it's taken me all the way till today to finally, after tons of hours, to get it right. So anyway, so I have been doing something, just not outside, but still stressful and brain taxing, especially when you have Lyme disease. But I've also been experiencing a lot of pain lately, and there's a certain spot in my back that's really been bothering me, and I feel like I know it's my spine, but probably muscle too. It's causing a domino effect of other places in my back, and Michael can't get it to pop, I can't get it to pop, and today it started affecting even further down my back, pretty much down to my mid-back, making it where it's very difficult to inhale, and it's painful every time I inhale. And so anyways, today's just been a sit around, laze around day, but tomorrow is an important day. Yesterday started the time of the moon cycle where we would plant anything that produces flower and fruit. And Michael's been busy this week, and so tomorrow will be the planting day. And I tell you, it's difficult to have a garden in the South, a spring garden in the South. So it wasn't even a week ago. It was in the 40s and the 30s. Today's Thursday. Monday, they're now calling for 91, and half of this week's been in the 80s. The rest of this week is supposed to be in the high 80s. And then it hits the 90s, and it's like, really? We were just in the 30s not even a week ago. So it makes it really hard, and that's a big part of whatever you plant. It's not just, are you planting kale, are you planting lettuce, are you planting beans? You need to look at the varieties. And if you live in a southern area where it's hot, fast, you need to make sure you're looking for things that say like slow to bolt or tolerates the heat, things like that on your cool season crops. If you're in the north, you need to be looking for things that can handle, if you're looking, say, tomatoes, you want something that can handle cooler temperatures or short season varieties. So it's not just what you're growing, it's actually the type that you're growing, because they're all, they get genetic information that makes them thrive wherever they're being grown and seed is being saved. And as you have them grow over and over, they just get really strong abilities for that kind of climate. So really pay attention to that. So what I want to do for today, the rest of the day, I just want to show, because we have a lot of stuff coming up, and I just want to show what's coming up and kind of give a time frame that it took for that to get up. So I'll spin you around and we'll get going on that. So here's our potato bed. I don't know if you saw it or not on the other video, but the potatoes we planted were super tiny eyes. They barely had them. And the other day I came walking up and I started looking at them, looking for potatoes, and I was saying to Soraya, I don't even know why I'm looking. There's not going to be. And I went, oh, there's a potato. And I thought, well, maybe this area right here is really thin, so maybe that's what it is. And I started looking around, and I don't know if you can see up there, but there's another potato, and that's in a real thick area. So that was exciting. So we've got potatoes coming up all over the place. There's one there. I'm not going to probably take you around everywhere. So we did rows of 3. So we did 3 rows. So there's one there. There's some clumps coming up there, and then there's another one coming up there. So we can kind of see where the rows are. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but this is pushing through. Got one pushing through there. So that's exciting. So even though they had super tiny eyes, it still worked. Got a bunch right there, and got a bunch coming up there. So that's super exciting. I forgot to add, it took 2 weeks for the potatoes to start coming through, which I think is pretty good for them to have been so tiny on eyes. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Let's get you down here. how thick the mulch is. It's pretty thick. So they made their way up there in 2 weeks. So I think that's pretty good. Okay, so here, if you can see them little greens, we got a patch here behind this trellis. This is giant southern curly mustard. We have grown this for many years, and this is actually our seed. We save the seed every year. Actually, most of it we let just fall. When it goes to seed, we just leave it and it falls and it self-sows, but we saved some of this before we left Missouri, and so this is our seed that we've saved, so that's exciting. And it can take the heat, but also having it on this trellis, that once that squash gets up, because it's going to be it's a vining zucchini that we'll have here. If this is still going, that will add some shade, but I don't know how timing will stand for that, but it'll add some shade and help keep that going longer. And of course, we've got the ducks shooting up. They're already getting big. I've been bad and I keep forgetting to take the picture. Michael said he thought it'd look better if I did it weekly anyway. It'd be easier to tell how much they grew, but they are growing. All right, over here, we've got the Oric mix. So there should be a green. This one should be more of a yellow green. And then we got the red. So this one, I'm glad there's 2 reds because there's not a lot of red, but every hole all the way down has Oric up, except for this one, but you can see right there it's about to poke through. So I'm super excited about that. But also, so this, there's a row of 3. I don't know if you'll be able, sorry. So there's a row there, and then there's one up a little bit, and then there's one back further. This is the asparagus. I've never grown asparagus from seed. I had no idea what it was going to look like. It could take like 13 or 18 weeks to germinate or something. And yesterday, let me see, there's a baby asparagus right there, and there's actually another one lower. So super excited about that. Not everyone has one up, but I'll move you to a few more. Let's see. Try not to get you dizzy. This one might be easier to see. But I had no idea. I was like, seeds open, and they're normally the 2 leaves that open, so I had no idea if it was going to look like a weed or if it was actually going to come up like an asparagus. And it came up like asparaguses right there, and right there. And you see that one over there. There's 2. So I'm excited about that because this is something new, and I had no idea how long this would take. It took, I think it was 2 weeks. Got
radishes.
You've been picking radishes.
Isn't this another kind?
Yeah, I noticed there was some that were a different color showing up in that pack.
It's on this side.
Mm-hmm. I think there's...
And they're kind of mushier.
Are they mushier?
Yeah.
You like them? Yeah, you like radishes, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Old North Sea strawberries. This one has new growth in it, so I'm happy about that. The other 2, they're looking dead, but I'm still hoping that they'll have new growth in it. I planted 17 spots by seed, and there we go. Got little strawberry seeds. I was concerned about those too because you got to keep them from drying out, and they can take 1 to 6 weeks to germinate. So I got one there. I think all mine are up but 4, and then Soraya's also got hers up. She had 30 plants, and I counted 20 something today, so they're almost all up. 25 are up. And then these 18-day radishes are doing good. They have the first set of true leaves, so we will start the count now. So I'm going to do a little video. I'm going to just show you what it looks like, and then once it's been 18 days, I'll show you again what it looks like, so before your eyes, they can just blossom in 18 days. All right, there's echinacea. I'm super excited about that. That's a new thing for me. I've never grown from seed, and most of them are up. And then across from it, we got the salad Brunet, which I'm super excited about. It might be salad Brunet. I don't know how you pronounce it. I did try to grow that one year, and it didn't do really good. I can't remember if it was because my health weeds took over or what, but one year we did try to grow that. Oh, I needed to add. I've been saying that I haven't grown strawberries from seed before. And last night, all of a sudden I remembered I used to have strawberries, and I knew I had the strawberries when we were in Missouri, but I remember that you can only get those from seed at Baker Creek. And I was like, did I? And I mentioned it to Michael, and he said, yeah, you grew them from seed. You started them inside in trays, but yeah, you grew them from seed. And I actually don't remember that at all. I don't know if that was after I hemorrhaged with the birth of Micah, and all the Lyme symptoms took over my entire body, and my brain's just lost at that time. I don't know, but I have grown strawberry plants from seed. I just don't remember it, but I've never started them outside. So that's still a first. So we got a lot of successful firsts that I'm happy about. All right, we got sage from seed. That's a first for us. I've grown sage before, but it was from transplant. We got thyme from seed. That's a first. We've never even grown thyme before. And all the way down, it just alternates. Empty holes for strawberry, not strawberry, for flowers, and thyme and sage, and I think they're all up. And there was a few that Aaliyah threw oregano in. We've never grown oregano from seed, so those are all new. So that's exciting. I'm forgetting the time frame. Radishes over there took like 2 or 3 days. The carrots took about a week. The strawberries took 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Sunday, I think, will be 3 weeks. And hopefully they'll all be up by then. The echinacea, I'm going to say probably about 2 weeks. And then the salad Bernay, it was pretty quick. I think it was about a week. Somewhere in there. And so let's check out over here. So this area here doesn't have anything up yet. This doesn't have anything up yet. This is the, ooh, just kidding. Right, let's see if you'll be able to see it. Right there. It's bulging out. So tomorrow we will have something poking through. So this is fennel. I'm actually worried about growing the fennel here because fennel is supposed to have components to it that make it not good for companion planting to like almost any other plant. So I'm hoping that it doesn't become a problem. But over there we've got all that Mizuna coming up on that first row. And this is the purple Mizuna. You can see the nice pretty color already standing out. That next row is the Suma, something like that, spinach mustard. And it's actually a mustard, but it's more mild like a spinach. And then the next 2 rows, that is all the parsnips. So we got green finally starting to show up in here. The tomatoes are still, I mean, they're trying to grow, but they're going super slow. And so we've had this whole area and you can't see any green over there where the tomatoes are, but you're starting to see some green now with all this stuff going on. So that's exciting. Okay, I am being so bad about not sharing the time frame. So the spinach mustard and the Mizuna, they were all planted on the same day. They took between 3 and 5 days to sprout. And then spin you around, we got all the radishes. We just filled in all the empty spaces with radishes. They're over there, 3 days or so. You've already showed your radishes in your hand. You showed them a minute ago. So the peas, they got blossoms. You got more? Let me see.
See, there was not just one of them I showed you. Now there's 2 of them.
Okay. So we got blossoms all over, and even though I'm upset with the garden not doing what it's supposed to, having these delayed YouTube videos, I can definitely see that it is doing stuff. So let me spin around. It's definitely not what I want it to be, but they did harvest lettuce today for salad, and still color and texture and stuff is not what I want for sure, but it's doing something, I guess. So let me pass you, Micah. Let's see, I had a nice pea. There we go.
Yep.
Let's see, there's a nice little sugar daddy pea and good new growth on the strawberries.
Hey, Mama,
nice
and there's
growth.
a pea tomato right there. See? It's tiny. See it right there?
Yep, on the other side. Yep, you're right. And then this one that I thought might die, it's got new growth, so that's exciting. So the other day, we planted the tips of the green onions that we had bought from the store. Well, Micah planted them. Sorry if I'm making y'all dizzy. Can you see? They're already growing. If I remember correctly, it took them 5 days to start sending off green. And even though this one over here is not green yet, you can see that it's coming out. But that one's got green already. Don't mess with it. Yeah, right there. And so not all of them are doing something yet, but 5 days.
Mama, look, this one has green coming out of it.
As it is starting.
Hey, and look, that one has, it already has green out of it.
Oh, you're right. That one kind of got buried a little bit. There's green down there. So even the ones that are not green, you can see that they're starting to get like a, well, that one's got a little speck of green in there. So it's about to put out green too. Anyway, so about 5 days to a week, and we got what would have been trash. Now we'll start having a new harvest from. And so we've continued. They added, I don't know, 2 or 3 more blocks down there of green onions tips as we cut them and eat them. So we'll get more green onions out of it. All right, so here's our other half bed. So this whole strip right here, that's all radishes. So it's something that was recently planted. It's that 18-day radishes. They've shot up. They're almost as big as the other stuff that was planted weeks before them. I'm not real happy. These peppers are just sitting here. Most of the greens and everything are just sitting there. It's taking forever. But they are starting to get new growth on them. And we can tell a difference when Michael puts the fertilizer on it. The next few days, they kind of jump up just a little bit, but then it only lasts two days or so, and then it seems like they're not growing again. So I'm positive it's the ground. I see your radishes. Yep, they're very pretty. And anyway, so we're going to keep adding the fertilizer every week, and we're probably going to start making compost tea out of the duck and chick bedding that we had. Actually, the ducks are making a nice, lovely mess, so it'll work really good. But anyway, so excited about the new things coming up. Hopefully they turn up well. And yeah, Micah, you can do it. And also hopefully getting all of the peppers and beans and squash and zucchinis and melons and pumpkins and flowers and all that stuff in tomorrow.
Can you show them my thing that's stuck around the fence?
Yes, I'll show them that. Those are all, most of them are like big seeds, and I'm hoping they'll sprout and get up and get green and just make me feel like, hey, something's going on, and make me feel good about it. And hopefully they grow good. Hopefully their roots can get down deeper faster than what the greens have done and start getting more nutrients, I guess, because stuff just doesn't seem to be doing all that well. But anyway, so tomorrow will be a busy day getting all the summer stuff done. And anyway, so we'll let y'all see that tomorrow. Michael wants me to show you in the mulch pile, he had got this little plant out of it and he planted it. We have no idea what it is, so if you know what it is, let us know, but it's a vining of some kind, so he planted it by the fence to see what happens. So he wants me to show y'all that plant. I do want to say I am happy with the peas. They've started to get nice and green. There's just a little bit of yellowing down at the bottom, but they're starting to get nice and green and tall, and their height is only 24 inches anyway, so they're not too far from their height, so they're doing pretty good. It just took a while for them to get there, but so happy that's working, and hopefully that's what everything else will do. Hopefully it'll just take a little while to get its roots down, and then all of a sudden everything will take off and not go to seed like the radishes have done. But anyway, we'll see. All right, here is Micah's little weed plant that he got out of the mulch pile. We'll see what it is. Maybe it'll be something pretty and have flowers or something, but we'll see. I want to throw in too, I had someone comment on another video, and they were telling me that they had heard that using the concrete blocks, well, cinder blocks, can leach toxic materials into your soil. So for me to research that, and I really appreciate her saying that. I went and looked it up, and that is true. But it's true for true cinder blocks. From what I understand in my research, most new blocks are not cinder blocks, even though they call them that. It's actually concrete blocks. And true cinder blocks are made from cinder, which is a byproduct from the coal industry. It's coal ash, fly ash is what they'll call it, and that ash has a lot of heavy metals in it. Anyway, they use that as the aggravant, I believe is the word, instead of sand or gravel like they use in concrete. So from what I was researching, they said if it's new, most likely it's concrete. If it's old, it'll be cinder, but some companies still do use cinder, so we need to try to figure out what this is. But if it's actually concrete, it's not an issue. And even with the cinder, there were some people saying it's never been shown to actually leach, but the lime in it will leach and actually make the soil alkaline. So I would think if that leaches out, why wouldn't the heavy metals? But that's something we need to look into. If this was just growing poorly and the other stuff was doing good, I'd actually wonder if it was the blocks. But since everything's kind of growing poorly, I don't think that's what it is. But anyway, it did say that companies will make cinder blocks because they're lighter than concrete, and that can be beneficial when you're toting a whole bunch building things. But they said they cost more. So this was done as a kit when they were, whoever was bringing in the trailers and doing the houses for the family. And I tend to think when you're doing trailers and things, people go for the cheaper stuff. So I tend to figure that they're probably actually concrete, trying to save any penny that they can. But we'll see if we can figure that out. So that's our new things that we have coming up. Doesn't look like much, but hopefully, since we know about the fertilizing needing to be done now, we won't have as big of a problem with it not wanting to grow like we did the other stuff, because the other stuff we probably waited 2 or more months before we started actually actively trying to put fertilizer on them. I don't know, maybe it wasn't that long, maybe it was a month, I don't know. Anyway, we waited a while, and now we'll be doing it immediately either way, so hopefully we start getting more stuff out of it, because I feel like not like a failure, but I'm just frustrated because we've been homesteading our entire marriage, and we've been married going on 16 years this summer. And then I also worked in a greenhouse before that through high school, several years in high school. And I normally have really, really, really good gardens. And we are normally, literally, by this time, I'm normally harvesting our greens by literally trash bags, like full-size trash bags, even 2, 3, 4 trash bags at a time. I've had years where I sell the extra greens to the health food store and give away. So I'm like frustrated, but you always, every year you have new things, but especially being in a new place, you have new things. So sometimes it's not so much your knowledge or what you're doing as trying to learn what's missing at where you are now, or whatever the new season is. And so just an encouragement, if you've been gardening and you struggle with something, or you're afraid about gardening, it just, even for the people who know what they're doing, things can still happen even when you've been doing it for almost 20 years. And so that's just just something. But the thing is being able to pick up and be like, okay, this isn't working right, this isn't working right, let's figure out what's going on. That's where it comes into play, you know, watching when you plant stuff, watching the maturity time and being like, okay, this isn't working right. Even if you're new, that's something you can easily do. You can write on your calendar, and then you can say, okay, I know this is supposed to be ready in 55 days. And then when you get to 55 days and nothing's happening, or sooner, if you can tell this isn't doing anything, then you know, hey, I need to reach out for help. I need to do something. It may not be fertilizer, it may be some other problem, but still, that is a big thing. Watch out for your time, because you can easily just get busy in life and time slip away, and day after day after day, you go, oh, it's not really grown, it's grown a little bit. And it can, you know, a month or two can pass by really quickly. And so that's, pay attention to those things. So keep a journal. I have another video about my favorite agenda, and I show what I like all about it. So go check that out if you haven't before. But that's where I write how many eggs we get a day, how many, you know, when we plant stuff, homeschool stuff, birthdays, whatever, everything goes in there. And I really like the setup. Also want to add, yesterday I got quail egg as the second trial. So I had the first trial, it was in a scone, and I didn't get a whole lot. I probably got like a third or a half of an egg, and I didn't notice a problem. And then last night, to make sure I was getting a good dose, I got a whole scrambled quail egg, and I was actually nervous about it. I do, as much as I homesteading and I like new things and I like all the colors and all the everything, I have this brain thing about if it's not normal, it being difficult for me. And I know that's crazy, because I'm the first one that will add all the new and exciting everythings, and then I'll get it and be like, here, y'all eat it. When we've raised quail before, and I'm sure I've had quail eggs before, but normally it would be like I'm mixing a few quail eggs with the chicken eggs we had instead of just eating a quail egg. And I had seen people saying that quail egg was not really good to eat by itself, because it was a lot more not, well, I guess flavorful, but not really flavorful, but it was stronger, and that it was better to be put into something. And so I was just nervous about it. And literally they gave me this egg, and it was like, you know, we got tiny eggs. It was the smallest portion. It was like a tablespoon at most of scrambled egg. And I ate it, and it tasted identical to a chicken egg. Identical. You wouldn't have known the difference. And that was another thing. I haven't eaten eggs in over a year and a half, so I was afraid that I would already be really sensitive to the taste of egg, just because I hadn't had it. And that was something in pregnancies that was a problem for me. Eggs would taste funny. And so I was just as part of my morning sickness. So I was worried that having it be such a big gap in time, that I would not, even if it was a chicken egg, I would have a problem with it. And it was good. It tastes just like a chicken egg. I did shortly after, like minutes after, I started getting really lightheaded. And so I'm not sure if I was reacting or not. I kept it for, I don't know, probably 30 minutes. And so that seemed like, okay, I just had this, but it was like 10:30 and I had not eaten supper yet. So it's possible that I had just finally hit that point that my blood sugar wasn't going to take anymore, which I didn't feel like I was crashing, but maybe I was, and just by getting the egg in me kind of balanced something out in a way, but not fully. So I'm going to have to do a third trial to double check on that one, since I did seem to get lightheaded, and see if I get lightheaded again afterwards. So anyway, but yesterday we got 6 quail eggs, so that was exciting. So things are going, quail eggs are laying, stuff's sprouting, stuff's starting to grow. So hopefully we'll have a like full-blown homestead like abundance going soon. So that's what we're hoping for.